Hey everyone, welcome to part 15 of the North Wing series. As I sit here recording this is day 12 of framing the North Wing project. If you saw the first framing video, basically have 28 days to get this thing done before I've got to get back to the real world and get electricians and plumbers going. And so we're on day 12. In the last video, you saw that we finished the floor joists, blocking, decking, all that good stuff. So in this video, we're going to be talking about the exterior walls of the first floor, which is our main levels, the bedroom exterior walls. I want to jump into the Revit model and as well as go back to some of those clips and slow them down and sort of talk about some of the lessons learned between design and construction and having to build this thing with my own hands and some of the pros and cons of the approach we took. So first, we'll take a look at what we built here. So basically, this exterior wall, and this exterior wall. And actually, as of day 12, we also have this bearing wall in the middle here. But what I really want to do is focus on these exterior walls. So first and foremost, what I wanted to talk about was looking at these walls as an architect versus a contractor or the framer is thinking about how to most efficiently lift them, right? And so up until this point, we've only had one wall that we were able to build on the ground and lift up. And even that one, we kind of had to take pieces off of it because of where the concrete was. And unfortunately, even over here, luckily we had this wall and this wall we were able to build on the deck and lift up. But even this wall here, there's an existing fireplace here. And so we had to sort of, we had to lift it up and move it around. And so as you can see from this time lapse, it looks like it's simple. But once you get this up, even with two people, my father and I here, this is Carlos, my dad, getting it up, we slid it over to the fireplace. We had to lift it up and then we had to slide it over in place. And so lifting is one thing. We've got this wall jack, which actually helped out quite a bit. I will say, getting the wall jack onto the 2x4 can be a pain. The pins weren't very strong that we had to use there. But you'll see once we got it to that point, getting it up and in the air wasn't too bad. What you're seeing me do actually, if I crawl under here, on this little part here, what you're seeing me do is actually crawl under to remove screws because we accidentally screwed in the toenails in the wrong location and it was they weren't giving in. So that's a whole nother lesson learned there. But what you can see here, as we're lifting this wall, that's fine. And so the wall gets up fine. Using these wall jacks, we get it to the point. But you'll notice it's hanging off on the edge here. It's hanging off about 2 feet maybe or so, whatever the width of the fireplace is. And so what we had to do is now we have to move it all the way over. Seems like an easy task, but this is a pretty heavy wall. So what we ended up doing was actually using a strap ratchet sort of thing, as well as a sledgehammer, which you're seeing me do here is sledgehammer the thing along. And so we did get it in place. It's just a way more effort and energy than we wanted it to. But the other thing I want you to notice in this video as this is sort of finishing up is these windows, okay? One of the things that I really wanted to do here is, since I was framing this project myself, I wanted to reduce the size of the windows, the openings themselves, in order to make the windows lighter. Yeah, it was a little less expensive, but I wanted the headers to be smaller and I wanted the windows themselves, the actual physical windows, to be lighter. And so because of that, we ended up building out each opening. So when we have 3 windows here, for example, if I look on this side, these are individual windows, but if we look at this guy here, and so if I was to isolate these windows here, so we did three headers, right? So 3 individual headers, 3 individual openings. So what that let us do is we have only 3 25-inch windows instead of 1 6-foot window unit. So that was something that I toyed with a lot in the beginning. Because I was framing it myself, I wanted to make sure these windows were easy to get up onto the second floor on this and then get into place. And those window units, especially 6 feet wide, even if it's aluminum or this is like a fiberglass material with wood, they get pretty heavy, right? I didn't want to have my headers, 2 11 and 7/8 LVLs and dealing with heavy headers and all that other stuff. So I thought this was a good idea, which in the end, I think it ended up being a good idea as far as lifting the windows, which we'll find out soon, because the windows are much more manageable. One person can actually pick them up, which is nice. You don't need 2 people to pick them up, 1 person inside. It would have been a 3-person job. But the one thing that I did learn is how much labor it added to building these walls. And so as we jump into this time lapse here, you see this is us building what is the east wall of the project. And so you see this is one that we could actually lift in place, which is awesome. But you see I'm adding my studs here. Okay, so now we're starting to build the windows, and you can see, so there's a jack, there's a king in the middle, then there's a jack on each side. And then you have your headers, and then you have a jack for the sill, right? And then you have your cripples and all of this other stuff. And You know, looking at it here, when you start looking at these actual walls, there is just a ton of wood in these walls. You know, the jack studs are in place here. And now we're starting to put the header, the cripples, or the plates for the header. So there's the plates there. And now you'll notice there's another set of jacks to hold the sill. And then we did a double sill, and then we did some cripples below that. And so even though this was just 4 24-inch by 24-inch windows, it took a ton of time and effort and labor to do. Whereas if this was a single opening window, so let's say it was a single window with, you know, three 24-inch window units, let's say, then it would have been, you know, 2 jacks, 2 sill jacks, and then a big old header. Just wanted to jump out here real quick to talk about that stud pack I was telling you about, so you can kind of see it in person. All right, so here's the windows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so you got 5 studs. You know, one's holding the sill, one's the jack, then you get a king, then another jack, then a king. If I zoom out, you can see how much wood is involved. So as you can see, I'm editing the video now, so it's a little later down, but I wanted to show you that because I thought it was a good idea to sort of show you in person what that crazy stud pack looks like. So yeah, windows were definitely lighter, but lots more wood, lots more labor, as opposed to, you know, you basically would eliminate these 3 studs, these 3 studs, and those 2 studs, and you kind of have it across there. So just something to think about if you're planning on doing a 3-window unit over 3 individual windows. When I install windows, I guess I'll give you an idea of how I thought that came out. Like I said, the windows are easily manageable, you know, by one person. So we'll see if it was worth it, but just something to look forward to there. If you're thinking about maybe reducing the cost by doing window units, less window units, or maybe making it easier to build, there's pros and cons to that approach. And one other video that I wanted to sort of show is layout. I did a couple of these time lapse. You've probably seen them in a few other videos. This is me doing the layout on the still plates. This is one part that I absolutely really enjoyed. As the person who designed the project, lived the design process for the last, you know, year of it, going through and sort of laying out each individual stud, each individual window, even doing the floor layout in the first, you know, in the actual level is something that I truly have enjoyed. As an architect who designed the project, being able to go out there, first it was kind of cool because, I mean, you see I had the iPad there, but truth be told, the layout I pretty much knew in my mind. I had the iPad more for rough openings, but being able to go out there and just sort of lay this thing out by hand with pencil, you know, and then construct this building that I spent the last 12 months sort of designing on the computer, was just absolutely super rewarding. And so I took a bunch of little videos of the layout stuff because I thought it was super fun. And as an architect, being able to lay out your own project and then build it with your own hands, super satisfying and gratifying. If you have the chance to do it, I highly suggest it. And then finally, as we look at this aerial video of the north wall going up, the final tilted wall that we went to, you could see that's the point that we got to at this point in time. As I'm recording this video on day 12, that wall is up. It is mostly sheathed and zipped, and so we're making good progress, and I think we're gonna make it. I think we're gonna get it. I think we're gonna be watertight before the 28-day mark, so I'm super excited about that. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to like and subscribe to the channel here. If you're interested in checking out the sample files, whether it's the Revit project from this, the estimating cost sheet, the schedule information, and so on and so forth, or just get in touch with me, then head on over to community.bimafterdark.com. Look forward to the next video. We're going to be doing ceiling joists and roof rafters. So cross our fingers, and thanks for following along. I'll see you guys next time.